So finally, we have Rugved Barguje here with us. It's really an honor to be able to interview you. Prodigy, you can say, in terms of especially in supercross racing. And I've seen him racing live recently in the Arms dirt track race. He crossed the finish line doing a wheelie. That was one of the best moments out there. Can you please introduce yourself, like your age, your number of races you have done, championships, things like that?
Hi, I'm Rugved Barguje, Rugved Barguje, and I'm 21 years old, and I'm four times MX national champion, as well as Sri Lankan junior champion. And I ride for TVS Petronas racing team.
So you have had
Uh,
success both nationally and internationally as well,
yes,
right? Amazing. So, which bikes do you have right now? Which one do you prefer out of the multiple bikes that you have?
right now I have a Kawasaki and a TVS bike, but I prefer to ride a TVS bike because it's a 350cc and it's more powerful than the Kawasaki. I would prefer to ride the factory bike, and
The
that's
factory
what
bike
I'm
is
allowed
tuned
to ride.
more, yeah, obviously.
Uh,
So, what are those exact
uh,
bikes? Kawasaki 450, right? If I'm right.
no. I have a 250.
Okay.
That's a spare bike. Anything wrong goes with the TVS bike, or it's for the service and I don't have a bike to ride. Like 2 or 4 rounds on the practice bike, and I had that bike as a fun ride bike.
What age did you start riding at?
Started riding at the age of 13. My family background is from racing. So I used to see my brothers, my cousins, my uncle, my dad. I saw some videos of my dad. Like back then, used to love to watch all the races, and I saw my dad riding, my brothers riding. One day, I just asked my dad, like, I want to get into racing. So he straight away said no because he was scared that I will crash. I still crashes. That's the different part. But yeah, he said no, focus on your studies and don't be in racing. I asked him when I was 8 years old that I want to ride. Like I rode my first race in 2005 when I was 5 years old, and I had a massive crash. I was riding a 50cc and the accelerator cable got stuck on the start line. When the gate dropped, I straight away went from start to end. So I did not turn left, no right. I was bleeding from everywhere. So he was scared at that time. So I asked him again, like, I want to get into riding. And he said, no riding for you. And somehow I convinced him, no, I want to ride. So he bought me a bike in 2012. I rode my first race in 2013. And in the first race, I secured third position.
Your father has been a big influence. Your whole family has been a big influence upon every one of you. Ridden only supercross races or motocross, or someone was in rally, and why you chose supercross?
My dad rode some rallies. My uncle also rallies and supercross. And my brother was into supercross. So I feel like supercross is more fun, like flying high in the air. That's what I have seen all these days. So basically, I don't have any experience about rallies. You are on a high speed, and if anything goes wrong, you meet with a crash. Basically, I feel like flying high. So I love motocross and supercross.
So flying high, like what goes on in your mind? You're up high, like 30, 40 feet in the air.
Just I have to land safely, no crashes. That's all is in my mind. Like, yeah.
This is purely for the viewers who will be watching and learning about motocross or supercross. Can you differentiate this between the three formats of dirt racing that we have mostly in India? Supercross, motocross, and rallies.
Supercross means a compact track, which is like under 1 kilometer, like it's around 8 to 700 meters track, and the jumps are very close. That's supercross. And if you talk about motocross has like bigger jumps and a bigger track, a bigger layout, like almost 2 or 3 kilometers layout. That's the difference between motocross and supercross. And we have dirt racing also, which includes no jumps. So it's just a flat ground, and that's what dirt we call as a dirt track.
Final one, obviously, rallies. That's around minimum 10 kilometers in some cases, and maximum can go up to 21 kilometers in India. The longest, I think, is the
Yeah.
rally of Coimbatore. Okay, now I'd like to know which race of yours do you remember the most? Like it's there in your memory. you'll never forget? Something like your best
It
race.
it was in 2016 in Coimbatore. It was a game changer for me. I was leading the private foreign open championship, and I had a crash in Jaipur. So I had dislocated my shoulder, and from there I was DNF for one round. From Coimbatore onwards, they were like I had 4 rounds to go, and the intense case was like if I don't finish all the races in the first place, I will lose the championship. So in 2016, I got a start, but unfortunately, a fellow rider fell in front of me and I got stuck in the traffic. And somehow I covered from last spot to the first spot to the checkered flag. Like till the last lap, I was fighting for the first position, and the finish line was like 100 meters ahead, and I overtook on the last corner itself. So it was a game changer. If I wouldn't have done the first, I wouldn't have come first, then I would have lost full championship. That was a game changer.
Where there's positive, there's always negative. So, which one would you say was as per you, your worst kind of race, which you remember as like a bad experience? There are always bad experiences. Which one?
2017, second round in Bangalore, I was leading the championship and the practice session. I had a bad experience, like my suspension was not tuned. Last few minutes, I had then my team had did some tuning on the bike and I was not comfortable and I didn't have a lot of time to test it out. So it gave me a very bad experience that I just took the bike, I went to the track, I was giving my best lap timings. And on the hoop section, the bike just kicked me off. I just flipped over the bike and I broke my wrist. So that was the bad experience. I lost my full year was gone. So
Absolutely. So, talking of broken wrist, you have talked about you recently had your shoulder dislocated, and you have had multiple accidents. From I know what I know, multiple crashes, and obviously, whenever we are pushing as dirt riders, whenever we are trying to push and be better and learn something more, we will crash. So, which was one of the crashes that you feel was the worst for you?
dislocation of the shoulders. I have dislocated my shoulders more than like 4 or 5 times, I would say. And the worst pain is the shoulders. When it gets dislocated, it's very hard to fix it back. The pain stays over 3 months or 4 months. So I hate dislocating my shoulders.
You once told me that once we met. So you once told me that there's some stitches on your head as well. Something happened with the front fender of a bike.
In the COVID, in the lockdown, so me and my family decided like we were going to the lockdown, so we decided to go to my farm and spend some quality time with the family. So my entire family was at my farm, and I said if we are going to the farm, we'll take the bike, and I can ride also, I can hang out also, I can work out. Everything was sorted. In lockdown period, I started practicing, and while practicing, my gearbox broke. When I was approaching a jump, my gearbox broke, the wheel got jammed, and it just threw me off the bike. But unfortunately, my legs got stuck under the bars, and I landed on my face. And from the behind, the bike came and hit my helmet. So my helmet was cracked, and I had skull injury. So I told my dad like I have dislocated my shoulder again that time. So he said, okay, wait, I'll just remove your helmet. And when he tried to remove my helmet, his hand was filled with full blood. So that time he was very scared, and in few seconds he said like we have to go to the hospital. We went straight down to like 50 kilometers to another hospital. So another hospital we went. So over there, the hospital was known as Symbiosis. Over there, we just tried to enter it, and there were security guards down. Though those people said, "Please don't go here. We just got the COVID patient, so it's very dangerous. We can't take that risk." So again, we went around 20 kilometers towards Pune. I got a Sahyadri hospital. Then they said like we have to keep you in ICU for 24 hours for the observation.
So many crashes and everything. You must get nervous when you get on the bike. Maybe before every race, you must get a bit nervous. What's your routine to fight that nervousness?
When I'm on the start line, of course, everyone gets nervous. You never know what can happen in the race. So I start breathing. The anxiousness and everything just gets reduced, and I can just focus on the start. Well, you have to take a good start, good start, good start, good start. That's all. Like, yeah, if you get a good start, then like 80% the race is yours. Just there is a clear way. There is no dust in front of you. So your vision is a 100% vision. So if you don't get a start, if you get stuck behind someone, then it gets a little bit tricky. Like wherever he goes, sometimes we have to follow the same line. Sometimes you can go with some other line, but still there will be roost coming.
That's
Like
the whole
it's
shot,
always
right?
better.
In motocross, supercross,
Yeah.
and the track races, that they call that the whole shot. So
Yes.
whoever crosses the whole
Whole
shot
shot.
first and gets the
Yeah.
best start, they're at a
Hmm.
very good advantage.
Yes, they have a good advantage.
One of the international dream championships that you want to participate in.
I want to participate in Asian Supercross Championship, Asian Motocross Championship, or Supercross Championship. If I get a Super Asian Championship, then I would say I can dream for the World Championship too.
How close do you think you are right now to that?
What I expect is I can come under, yeah, I can finish the Asian Championship under 10, top 10.
So we need to enter the international situation of motocross and supercross as well. So that's the one thing pending, and I hope you will be
Mhm.
the first one from India to go and make us proud. Any challenges do you think you face in racing right now?
It's about sponsorship. If you look outside India, you will see a lot of sponsors involved, like Akrapovic, Scott, or FXR. These are the brands who are promoting. And India, if you look, it's very hard to get the sponsors.
Sponsors other than TVS and Hero, no other bike company or any other company for the fact are sponsoring or making any teams, even if it's just one rider, other than Ajmera Realty in Mumbai. They are sponsoring.
Hmm.
They're able to sponsor Rustam Patel. They're organizing as well tournaments and all, not just dirt track but
Yeah.
normal track as well. Do you think is missing for these people to for these companies to come in, invest and sponsor riders when they are already into, for example, other sports like kabaddi or badminton? Every other sport out there
Yeah.
has now gained traction.
Yeah. The teams comes and they do sponsor, but they don't sponsor for a long term. They just sponsor for one season, and once the one season is done, then next 2 or 3 years you won't even see the team. There should be a sponsor who can like at least last till 10 years. We should get an assurance that they will stay for long. Then only we can. Example for you, like if you get a sponsor and he said like I'll sponsor it, full year he'll sponsor you, and you get the championship and everything. And in the next year he says no, now we are not sponsoring. So what you will do? You have nothing to do. You can't spend from your own pocket because it's an expensive sport.
The issues that
Yeah.
anyone who wants to race, they
Mhm.
have to have a lot of money. That's the main
Yeah.
thing. There are a lot of skilled
Yes.
people that I've talked to in the last couple of weeks, ever since I took on this project and tried to build up
Yeah.
Knobbeshwar. So I've spoken to a lot of people who are actually amazing riders. I've seen their stuff
Mm.
firsthand. I've seen their stuff online, how they ride and everything. With proper training and with proper guidance, they will reach very good levels if they start racing actually. And some
Mhm.
of them really want to. But the only problem is the most biggest problem is the money part of it.
The support from the family. Most of the, if you see, most of the family doesn't support motorsport.
Families
Yeah.
won't support until they see the money as well. One day, if, for example,
Yeah.
even an average motorsport racer, if suddenly family sees that a motorsport racer who is an average racer, they're also able to earn at least a decent salary monthly.
Yeah.
Won't
Yeah.
the parents support? Because, for example, right now in other sports, kabaddi or
Mm.
badminton, hockey, the sports people have started to earn some money, much more than they did before. Cricket is on a different level in India right now, but yeah, these
Yeah.
sports, football, etc., they are starting to see a little bit more money, sponsors, and televised championships. Now these
Yes.
sports are as exciting as ours. Why do you think we don't get the coverage time? Maybe in media, live coverage. Why do you think our sport never gets that time?
Just about the advertising it. No, we don't get such advertisement because people don't know about this sport, or they don't want to encourage such kind of sports.
I talked to a few people, so I found out that, for example, in rally, they say that is an issue. If you want to cover as a media house, logistics is an issue. Now, in a normal track race, say in BC, both international or in MMRT in Chennai, you can fix up 3 cameras and that's it. You cover everything up. Everything's done. But this case is similar with supercross and motocross as well. Even in supercross, motocross, it's a closed track, but still there
Yeah,
are no sponsors. There is no media coverage. And I think
yeah,
because, for example, my example, I have been in Pune for the last 6 years now, and I had no idea that supercross races happen in Pune once a year, or motocross races happen, or dirt track races happen, either in Pune or very close to Pune. In this matter, I think media should be able to cover us. The more they
so
show about our sport beforehand, there are a lot of articles coming
mhm,
out in newspapers, but it's after the races happen. This right now,
mhm,
even good gear like helmets or
mhm,
armors are not easily available. We have to get them imported, pay nearly double out of it. Neck brace, everything.
yeah.
What pushes you to keep racing? What's keeping you pushed to keep racing?
Say it's all my injuries which keeps me pushing to the limits because whenever I think of quitting, it reminds about my injuries, the hard work what I have done throughout the year. That's all keeps me motivated. What was the point of getting into this sport? So there is a goal that I have to achieve. I have to keep on pushing until and unless I achieve the goal.
So, what's
Yeah.
your normal practice workout routine on a normal day?
Normal
Racing.
day, like when I'm not racing, I'm always on my cycle, I'm always on my fitness. So I go cycle 75 to 60 kilometers every day. So after cycling, I do some stretches. In evening, I do swimming or I do yoga. Yeah.
Athletes that you really look up to, like international or national racers that you really look up to and would love to train with them.
My father has been always my motivation. He once said me like I have like 3 consecutive national championships and no one has in our family no one has broke the his record. That's the goal, to break my dad's record. Arvind KP has always been my inspiration. I always look up to him. Like I look up to him as practicing with him since I was like 15 years old. He was my teammate, so I always used to speak with him. He used to train me. He used to give me tips. And I have seen him winning all the time. About international, I look Jeffrey Hurlings. When I went for training in Spain, so fast, like you can't even imagine. It's like it's a total different vision when you watch on the computer or a TV. You don't recognize the speed of the riders. When you watch, it's like
You think like even we can do it, but when you watch it live,
So, we have discussed about my plans of creating this platform, this community of riders. Once the community grows a bit more, once we have more and more
Mhm.
riders here, so my plan is to like have live sessions with you or other racers, and then whatever the community asks us, we can answer them live. Or if someone sends me a
Yes.
question, I can ask you guys, like, this is the question that I've
Mhm.
got. What do you think would be the answer to that? Yeah, so we can help in that as well. Someone who wants to enter
Yeah.
racing, I can guide them to the proper person so that they can guide them properly. Like, do this, so you will get the license and you can start racing and all. Question that I got on Instagram actually from a story I shared. So I'll. This is the best question actually. It's quite funny.
Mhm.
Now, how it's risky. What you do is risky. How does your mom allow you to do that?
So my mom is like now she's used to all the injuries. So basically, if you it's a little bit funny in my house. Like after the skull injury, my dad was super scared, and he just said, "No more racing. You're done. I won't let you sit on the bike and all." So that time it was really hard to convince him again that it was not my fault. I didn't do anything wrong, and time my mom convinced my dad like let him do whatever he wants to do. So she is pretty cool. Like whenever I broke my hand, broke anything, any part of the body, so I just make a call like, yeah, mama, I have broken my wrist or I have broken my collarbone. So she said, okay, it's just a collarbone. No, okay, come home. We'll get it fixed in 3 months. Then you can go and ride back. So she's pretty cool with that.
All the moms are same. Once they get used to something that their child is going to do, no matter what they
Yeah.
say, they just turn a blind eye towards
Yeah,
it at the end of the day.
because even my mom knows like it's a sport, it's a dangerous sport, injuries has to happen. There is risk in every single sport. If you go for cricket, you go for hockey, you go for kabaddi, there is injury in every sport. So without injuries, I don't think so you are an athlete.
Really, there's a saying about riding on dirt that if you're not crashing, you're not learning. And I believe that.
Yeah,
Because if
yeah.
whenever you're riding on, not just riding on dirt, I heard this, I saw this documentary about Mark Marquez as well. His teammates were saying that no matter which track it is, no matter the number of lap he's doing, for example, he has already done 10 laps. 11th lap
Mm-hmm.
or 12th lap, he'll still be pushing. He'll still try to push the limit of the bike and himself on every lap, on every turn.
Yeah.
So,
So,
dirt riders like us who want to be better, who want to learn something new, we will crash no matter what. It's
mhm.
just we have to make
So,
sure that we are safe and sound. That's why all the gear.
mhm.
If
Yes.
it was not racing, then what would have been your career? Where would you have your life taken you? What do you think you would have done if not racing?
Before getting into motorsports, I was a skater. I used to skate. I love skating. So I think if I wouldn't have come in motorsports, then I would have done skating, like till nationals or internationals. Yeah.
So, guys, today our time with Rugved ends here. I'll definitely start taking questions from everybody, and once we have a pool, we will definitely have more and more interviews like this on different topics on as Knobbeshwar grows and as Rugved grows. So, see you next time.